The different compartments of hell. In the Bible, hell is a place that God created for the devil and the angels that joined with him in his rebellion against God. Matthew chapter 25 verse 41. Then shall he say also unto them on the left hand, Depart from me, ye cursed, into everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his angels. The Hebrew word for hell is Sheol, which means hollow, and is a general term relating to the abode of the dead. The way to Sheol is always down. For example, when Korah and his followers rebelled against Moses, the earth opened and swallowed them up. They went down to the pit, or Sheol. Numbers chapter 16, verses 32 to 33. And the earth opened her mouth, and swallowed them up, and their houses, and all the men that appertained unto Korah, and all their goods. They and all that appertained to them went down alive into the pit, and the earth closed upon them, and they perished from among the congregation. The original compartment of hell is Tartarus, which is only referred to directly once in the New Testament. It is the place where the angels that sinned are chained up and have to wait for Judgment Day. 2 Peter chapter 2 verse 4. For if God spared not the angels that sinned, but cast them down to hell, or Tartarus, and delivered them into chains of darkness to be reserved unto judgment. The word Tartarus is a Greek word, and in Greek mythology, it was the deepest part of hell, where the Titans, the original pre-Olympian gods, were imprisoned. It may be that the myth of the Titans was rooted in the true biblical story of fallen angels. After the fall of Adam and Eve, 2 more compartments of hell were required for humanity. Firstly, Abraham's bosom, or paradise. This was the part of Sheol reserved for Old Testament believers before the time of Christ. They had to wait in this place until the death and resurrection of Christ made it possible for all believers to enter heaven. The most detailed account we have of this place is in Luke chapter 16. Luke 16 verses 22 to 23. And it came to pass that the beggar died, and was carried by the angels into Abraham's bosom. The rich man also died, and was buried. And in hell, or Hades, he lift up his eyes, being in torments, and seeth Abraham afar off, and Lazarus in his bosom. It's a salutary lesson for us not to judge people by their outward circumstances. The Bible states that the rich receive their comforts in this world, not the next. Luke chapter 6 verse 24. But woe unto you that are rich, for ye have received your consolation. The other compartment that was created is referred to as Hades. This is the place where the rich man went when he died, and is a gloomy waiting place where souls wait for Judgment Day. Hades is a place for souls before they are reunited with their bodies. On the account in Luke 16, it appears to be a place of heat and thirst. Abraham's bosom was emptied when Jesus was resurrected. Hades will continue until Judgment Day. After Judgment Day, it will no longer be required and will itself be thrown into the lake of fire. Revelation chapter 20 verse 14. And death and hell, Hades, were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. The death of our mortal bodies is the first death. The wicked die a second death when they are cast into the lake of fire. The lake of fire is also called Gehenna, or the Valley of Hinnom. This is an actual valley outside of Jerusalem where dead bodies and ashes were thrown. In the Old Testament, the Valley of Hinnom was a place where children were sacrificed to the false god Molech. Jeremiah chapter 7 verse 31. And they have built the high places of Tophet, which is in the valley of the son of Hinnom, to burn their sons and their daughters in the fire, which I commanded them not, neither came it into my heart. The word Gehenna is also used 12 times in the New Testament to represent the final destination of the wicked. It is the place where the wicked go when they die. Jesus uses the word Gehenna when referring to this place. Mark chapter 9 verse 43. And if thy hand offend thee, cut it off. It is better for thee to enter into life maimed than having 2 hands to go into hell, into the fire that never shall be quenched. The Bible is quite clear about who will die the second death. Revelation chapter 21 verse 8. But the fearful and unbelieving and the abominable and murderers and whoremongers and sorcerers and idolaters and all liars shall have their part in the lake, which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. The symbolism of Gehenna is also found in its location. Gehenna is a place outside the city of Jerusalem. The ultimate fate of the wicked is suffering outside of the gates of the New Jerusalem. Revelation chapter 22 verse 15. For without are dogs and sorcerers and whoremongers and murderers and idolaters and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie. As far as I can understand, the lake of fire and Gehenna are synonymous with each other. Ultimately, the souls of the righteous will be united with their resurrection bodies in heaven. The souls of the wicked will be reunited with their bodies in Gehenna. Thank you for listening. If you found this video interesting, you can find more information at prophecy-workshop.com.